Yeah, but it would be my second cousin. First cousin once removed. Which is it?
I never have understood that.
I don't think this is the garage. The roof, it's longer on one side than the other, number one. And then,
But David, the reason for that is, remember the little workshop that was on the left side?
I do.
That was added on, and so that
I
made
need
it
to take a
look
shower.
longer.
But wasn't there an apartment above that?
Well-
And you accessed it from stairs that were on the back
Yeah,
of
it
the
wasn't an
building?
apartment though, it was just storage space.
That must have been added later, because this has no door or no staircase
Yeah,
where those were. So those must have been added later.
probably, did it have a door?
It did have a door. That's the only way you could get in there.
And you climbed a ladder to get to it.
That's not my recollection. I thought there were
Well, I
some
think you put a
staircases.
little porch out there with the steps.
Oh, okay. But I do see those narrow or short windows that were in where the workshop was. Yeah.
And suddenly you're like, whoa, I ate the whole bag. I'm only gonna have a few.
Can't believe I ate the whole thing. It wasn't that Beth shook.
Mm-mm. That's me.
Who?
It's me,
And who?
Paul.
Oh, yeah.
God, it's the old fat bald guys.
How many old fat bald guys did you know?
I'll tell you what, though, he loved you guys. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. He had a streak in him though.
And don't ask me how, but your mother did it. Selected pictures to go in the albums. And these are all of the same kind of era, but they didn't make it to the album.
Yeah, I would go there and sit down at that yellow mid-century kitchen table. And he'd sit across from me and he would just, he talked nonstop for an hour.
Usually.
And just go on and on and on.
Tell you that same story
Uh-huh,
for the fifth time.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah.
But, I didn't have anything else to do, so. And I'd catch Bill's eye, kind of like,
I have two different CDs, DVDs, whatever you want to call them, of where I interviewed him.
did you not bring them?
They're here.
Yeah, I thought you said you were going to do that.
They, and I think I used a, what is it, HMDI, no, HDMI. And I think I used one to hook this up. But you can get a longer cable
Yes.
and put your computer, well, somewhere. There's no place to put it except maybe in that chair. And play a video from your computer onto the TV screen. Right?
Yes, I know.
I wish you'd show me how to do that.
You're in the 21st century, Bill.
I have a connection that I can plug into my iPad that goes from the USB-C port to HDMI, so I can play videos from my iPad on your phone.
In my house, it went straight in, and there's a door to the hallway that has a door.
Yeah,
So yeah.
but it had that it's got that weird center connecting spoke kind
Yes.
of thing all the way, and that was very common in homes that were arts and crafts types of homes, bungalows that were designed.
Southern Craftsman Cottage is that style. I looked it
Well,
up.
yeah,
Which is like
it's-
bungalow or arts and crafts, but it
But
doesn't have style.
it's the basis is a bungalow design,
Right.
which has that center thing like your rental house.
Yes.
And because your
Well,
rental
Pop.
house is probably a southern bungalow design
Kind of,
too.
yeah.
Do you remember when that house was renovated and added on to?
It's all
Yeah,
about
but
How old were you?
I was pretty young, but kind of.
And where did you guys live while they were doing that?
Oh, no, we lived there.
You lived in the house while it was being
Yeah.
added on to?
Yeah.
I always thought that the whole edition, number one, was Oscar-fied, and number two, it was pretentious.
What'd you say? Say that again?
Something just struck me that, you know, the weirdest thing about the edition
Oscar-tized.
was
Oscarized.
which the TV room where
Yeah.
Oscar would always sit.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, that was the same as the smaller house, but it just kind of shifted. Now you have this center weird room that opens up to
We're talking about the house again.
every other room in the house. So yeah, I think probably in his mind, my hypothesis is that I just took that and moved it a little bit and made it a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And but it was still, and I think what happened is that how they turn that from a room that you use to access other rooms to a main room of the house.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, it was like the smallest room in the whole house, and that's where everybody would cram themselves into.
That's right.
But my point was it was Oscar-fied because it made no sense, and it was pretentious because it was a bunch of huge, beautiful space that nobody used, which was very 50s and very nouveau rich kind of, you know. I got a lot of money.
And it had a grand piano.
And it had a grand piano, and it had a big old double glass door you could open, but nobody ever went in there.
That's right.
Well,
We
when we had
can't
company,
mess up anything up in
I
that
know.
room.
As if.
I have Christmas pictures.
Well, there are a lot of pictures. Every party that was ever given or shower or whatever, they're in that room.
But
yeah.
still, that's a huge room in your house just to not utilize.
There's a picture somewhere of you and Hank sitting at the grand piano.
I know
side by
that.
side.
Yeah.
However, in his defense, the house in Charlotte was the exact same way. We crammed ourselves in all those little tiny rooms in the back of the house and had a monstrous big living room and dining room that never got used. But in this case, it was because he was too cheap to run the AC and heat there. That's a whole different set of issues.
FYI, Frank Lloyd Wright was famous for designing grand living rooms, fireplaces, bookshelves, etc. And the bedrooms and bathrooms were really small.
Well, again, we all crammed in that tiny little
And the TV was in there.
the
The TV room,
We
yeah.
crammed into that tiny little TV room, and we could have all been in that living room, just strewn everywhere. Everybody would have had 20 square
Well, it's
yards.
kind of interesting from when you think about it, because Oscar had his chair. He had his throne.
Yes.
That was his throne room, and all the vassals, etc. And if he were home, he was sitting in that chair or in his bed or sitting at that little yellow table.
Oh, yeah.
Or he was
And
he was
that-
the king. There's no doubt.
Well, I'm not sure he considered it the throne room. It was just the only place he could put his chair.
Put the throne.
Yeah.
But now remember, that room was enlarged with the addition.
Yes, I know. Yeah,
Okay.
The addition added nothing to that
But
room.
it was
Yes,
like-
There was a
it
place
is.
for the television and the
No, the
secretary.
television wasn't in there.
Oh,
The
it was?
secretary was in there. The television was in the old room.
No.
Right.
Because it
You're
was
right.
catty corner, so he could sit on the throne and have the TV
Okay.
right in front of him, and his little squawk box over here, and the phone, the amplified
No,
telephone.
y'all remember it wrong.
No way.
The TV was next to the bathroom door. Oscar's chair, Nita's chair, the secretary was next to Nita's chair. On the wall backed up to Oscar's room.
We need some photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that TV ever being anywhere other than where it was in the end.
That's where Pop moved it,
Well, where was it originally?
next to the bathroom door.
It was never next to the bathroom door.
I'm confused.
When I was alive.
Y'all are crazy.
I have no memory of that.
I have
whatsoever.
memories of sitting on those little wedgie things in front of that TV.
How much you want to bet? I will bet you $100 right now.
And the secretary was next to Nana's chair. Here's her chair, and here's the secretary.
So because I remember seeing Richard Nixon resign, and that TV was
There's
next.
a photograph of Ott sitting in this chair, in this configuration, because I saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
can
just all you
the
see is
chair.
him.
You see the chair, and then you see that sofa that went from wall to wall on the wall that was opposite from the TV and opposite from the addition. And the only thing that was in that addition was the secretary and then a fake plant. because there was the
Okay,
plant
well, where was Nana's chair?
secretary. She sat on the sofa.
No, she didn't. She had a chair. It was a rocking chair. We looked at it yesterday. It was in.
And then there was the door to the long bathroom.
Okay. Okay.
And here was his closet. And
I
here
beg
was
to
the door
differ.
for
I
her.
have total recall about many things in life. I have total recall.
But there's got to be a picture here somewhere that will prove it.
Give me a pen. I'm
But
gonna
that
draw.
picture that I saw yesterday was.
It was just of him sitting. It wasn't of the
It
TV.
wasn't. It showed the in the background. It shows a sofa.
Yeah, the sofa, but that
Yeah.
didn't have nothing to do with the TV.
That's why,
Here's
that's
the
where
door.
Uncle Dave
Here's
and
the
Mr.
door.
Briggs always used to sit. Not necessarily at the same time, but that's, because that was actually the only other place you could sit in there.
That's right. Other than the throne.
But I don't
And
remember,
the secretary had a little chair that you could pull out too.
Yeah.
But I never saw anybody use that secretary.
I remember the secretary was next to Nana's chair. And I remember Nana's chair always being in the same place because I would tip it back. Whoever was sitting in it, either you or Laurie, I would remember pushing on the back and pushing the chair down on the ground.
That's how it was arranged.
Let me see.
E is Paul, N is Nana, S is sofa, TV.
All right.
Secretary is next to Nana's chair.
Okay.
Now, I think it did get rearranged to your configuration later because she was gone, so she didn't need a chair anymore, and it moved the TV.
All right, David,
up.
show us the configuration.
she got relegated
This is
to
her
the sofa.
recollection.
And yours is the TV is where Nana's chair is, and the
That's
secretary is where. No, that got moved later, but this is the way
That's-
it was
that's-
for
I don't
eons.
remember that,
I-
honestly.
That's not the way it was.
You're questioning my memory.
Oh, my Lord.
I never
No.
forget anything. It's harder to deal with.
Yes.
Probably, again, first time I ever took Marianne to High Point. Took her in the house to the kitchen. And Oscar's sitting where he always sat, and Phil is over here. And I brought her in and introduced her. And then she went on back in, probably to the weird bathroom, to use the bathroom. And one of them said, "Gosh, she's pretty." And the other one said, "Yeah, and she smells good."
Oh my God.
I cannot remember which
That's
was
two
which.
old men if there ever was.
Sniffing that air, sniffing that air.
That was pretty cute.
But see, again, pretentious. They built that huge blue bathroom, and Nana never even. She'd get up out of her bed and walk all the way up to that pink bathroom. She used the bathroom in the night. We were the only ones that ever used it.
I remember taking baths in the pink bathroom bathtub.
When we were little.
I guess whenever they did, I don't remember.
I remember that blue bathroom that up top that had that metal decoration and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was the circa 1970s redo. That wasn't there originally, was it?
I can't remember.
Probably.
I remember when they started redecorating that house and brought in all that shag carpet in the 1970s.
Well, isn't that weird? I remember when she redecorated the house, but I don't remember the bathroom ever being any different. That blue bathroom. I had vague recollections.
Which one's the blue one?
The big one, the
Oh,
long one.
no, I think you're right. I don't ever remember it being redone.
Because I was telling David I have really tiny memories of the living room being the old way because it had this sort of really flat beige colored carpet,
Yeah.
and the sofas in there were this sort of pink brocade almost upholstery.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you one thing, that was very good quality furniture.
Well, yeah, they just reupholstered everything and put it right back in there. What then?
Or maybe not, but they had access to wholesale.
It's terrible. Actually got a haircut there, but I'm not looking too friendly.
That's a mug shot, David.
Yeah. I remember going down to, when you went to NC State, and we went down and built that just complicated wooden structure in your dorm room, like multi-level thingy.
Was that the corner? A corner
Yeah,
dorm room?
the
Okay.
Corner dorm room.
That was my first dorm. No, one of my first dorm rooms
I
there.
think it was the first dorm room.
Yeah.
Gosh, house is across the street from Slimy Sign.
Yeah, I remember I had a really nice roommate, and she left for the weekend. She's like, "Do whatever you want." And then when she came back in and saw it, she's like, "Oh my
gosh.
God!"
Oh my God, I
Well,
can't
this one
believe
won't
that.
open, guys, so. this
Which one is that? Which one? Are you?
This, Laurie and John 2.
There's a Laurie and John 2.0.
Yeah.
Here's my Scirocco, and I remember what caused that accident right there. It's when that lady turned into me. It was a great car,
What's a Scirocco?
Volkswagen.
Listen, just a minute.
That's okay. Makes
Just-
me want to put a gun to my head right now.
Just turn it down so we can talk.
Yeah, you got to turn stuff down. Now, who is this? That shook at their house. Who is that girl? Maybe that was your friend. Oh, you got your one of your Elton John T-shirts that I think you printed, screen printed.
Let me see. Who is? Yeah. And the other person?
I don't know who that is.
Was that Goldsboro?
Looks. No, that's Charlotte.
Are you sure?
Well, no, I'm not sure.
Because it could be Pat Howell. She kind of had long brown hair.
It might be her. That looks like that's in Goldsboro, but then these other ones are clearly Charlotte because I remember those cabinets at the upstairs. Looks like you're wearing makeup, so probably when you're a little bit older. No. Oh man, I remember that Labrador Retriever. Some of these are just so funny because they're just cliche.
What do you mean by that?
Well, like that one. All right, we're gonna take a picture. Everybody stand up. Shortest to tallest. Yeah, that's Chris Whittle right there. You can't see his face, but he was chunky.
Chris Whittle?
Whittle.
Is that in Goldsboro?
Yeah. Or no, Charlotte. Look at these pants that he's wearing.
And he was a friend of yours?
Yes. He lived on the street behind us. Pop in his 70s pants. This is a really cute picture here. Building those barn doors and the horse and the pony looking, watching us. There's Holly's birthday, maybe 13th. 3 candles and a good Yule log cake, or cake.
That's a good.
I have to go. Let me slip.